In his gospel, Matthew writes, "His name will be the hope of all the world." Christine Ginter found the hope that is in Jesus Christ, and she's here from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan to share her story. Welcome, Christine.
Thanks. Thank you for having me.
We start this story in a difficult place, and I suppose it's not highly unusual, but you were an early teen when you left home.
That's right.
What was happening?
Mom was a single parent, and so she was trying to raise 3 kids, working hard, and we didn't get along at all, and so it came to the point where I left.
Now, you weren't on the street.
No.
You went to an aunt.
Thankfully, yes, I had an auntie and uncle that took me in, and they took care of me and surrounded me, and it was really, really a blessing for them to do that for me.
And that sounds good, but you say that you tried to pretend that all was well. All was not well with you.
No, deep inside there were times when I would go to sleep at night and I would cry because I knew it wasn't my home. This wasn't normal. And so there were times where it was really difficult, and then I would go into a season of depression, and I was really good at hiding it, so they didn't know at those times that it happened.
You turned to some coping mechanisms with that depression and angst. What did you do?
Yeah, I got involved in some drugs and alcohol, and I committed to that for a couple of years of my teenage life while I was in high school, and at times it was scary.
You had a really bad trip that scared not only you, but the people around you.
Yeah, I was experimenting with a drug, and the dangerous thing about using that is you don't know what can be put on them. And so we didn't know, and so I had taken it, and I was hallucinating really, really badly. And my girlfriends wouldn't even come near me at the place we were at because I was quite scary. And that really, really frightened me.
You thought you might die.
Yeah, I asked them to take me home. I said, please, can I just get a ride home? I can't be here anymore. And I remember I went into my room and I prayed to God. I was so scared, and I said, please, I promise I won't do this again if you can help me get out of this mess that I'm in.
Had you ever done business with God before? Did you have a background of faith?
I did have a background, yes, but I wouldn't say I was committed. It wasn't a priority for me. So until that time, I really sincerely meant that I wanted Him to help me, and I would avail myself to that.
It seems you took some positive steps about your life out of that big scare.
Yes.
You'd made a promise to God, but then you got a job?
I got a job, yeah. I worked 4 jobs at one time. I was working while I was in school, but I took 4 on, and I thought, I know there's something more to my life. I need to do something else. And so I applied to the University of Saskatchewan, and I got accepted into SUNTEP.
Now tell us what that is.
Yeah, basically, that is a program for Métis students in Saskatchewan, and you take 4 years of school, and when you're done, you have your Bachelor of Education, and you teach Native Studies as one of your areas, and then you choose your other area to teach.
And what did you have in view? What did you think you wanted to do?
Well, I loved home economics in high school, and so I had done that, and that's what I took. So those are 2 areas that I teach in now for high school kids.
You are teaching now?
Yes.
In high school?
Yes.
How many years have you been teaching?
2 years.
Is this, where is the high school?
I actually am employed with all of the school divisions within the Saskatoon area.
Okay.
So I get to go to each one, which is really nice.
My heart goes out. We're all freshly attuned to some of the crises in our First Nations communities. One in particular, 3,600 suicides a year in Canada, 5 to 7 times higher among Native youth than in other Canadian communities. You can identify with that a little bit,
Yeah.
being Métis,
Yeah.
having struggled with depression yourself.
Yeah.
Is that part of the passion in how you're living today?
Yes, it is. Yes. My husband and I founded Inspiring Youth for Success, which is a nonprofit youth foundation, and our goal is to inspire and encourage youth that are struggling. And we do that through several ways, but one of them is a motivational presentation where I come and share my story and encourage them and say, you know what, I was once there, but you can come out. You can do anything that you want in your life. And so that's what we're currently working on right now.
Wonderful. When were you married?
5 years ago. Yeah, it'll be 6 this coming June 2012. 6 years.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Quite a turnaround story.
Yes.
I'm very moved, and I think it's appropriate. You know what? We've got to find out how you first made this personal before we move to the Christmas blessing.
Sure.
It was actually Thanksgiving.
Yes,
7 years ago?
Yes, yeah. It would be, or I guess it'd be coming, we just passed 8 years. Yeah.
8 years.
Yeah, you got it.
How did you end up in church in the first place?
Well, I was actually working at Tim Hortons, and I met a girl there, and she had invited me to come to her church. And so I thought, sure. You know what? I changed my life. I made some choices. I thought, why not? And the first time I went, I was a little scared. It was different for me. But I've been there now for this remainder of time, and it's just, a church body is just so wonderful to be a part of.
And it was a Thanksgiving service.
It was a Thanksgiving service.
That really got your heart.
The altar call, that's right. He mentioned, that that Jesus obviously loves us and that we can live a life that we've never experienced, and that definitely has been the truth since I made that decision that day.
Your pastor has sent a wonderful letter describing you as a young woman of outstanding character. You are still at Saskatoon Christian Center and very involved.
Yes.
Worship leading.
Yes.
Nursery.
Yes, nursery, yeah.
And you also work with an inner city youth program.
Yes, we don't do that anymore, but we used to work there with the youth. Yes, we did, and that was just a wonderful experience.
Now here's the wonderful part that to me is a Christmas appeal. I mean, some people are stressed out already because they got to do time with family. It's Christmas.
Yes.
And that isn't always easy.
Right.
You had a bridge to cross with your mother, particularly.
Yes.
With the family you left. Tell us about it.
Yes. Yeah, so we obviously, when I moved out, we were not in communication very much. I would take my 2 younger brothers that I have with me on the weekends so I could stay connected with them. But it wasn't until a service, it was a Saturday evening, and the preacher was speaking about forgiveness. And I just knew in my heart that I had to call up my mom and say sorry. It was one of the hardest things to do, but yet it was the most rewarding. So I did, and it was 2 years ago that we had our first family Christmas at our place with my husband and my brothers, and we look forward to doing it again in a couple of weeks.
How sweet.
Yes, yes.
We have a photo here first with your mom.
Great.
Beautiful. Somebody's a good photographer in the family.
Yes, yeah.
That's great. And is she in Saskatoon?
Yes, she is.
Everybody's there. That's
yes,
good.
Yeah.
And here are your 2 brothers.
My 2 younger brothers, yes.
What a great picture.
Mm-hmm.
Through all this, you've learned something about God's love.
Oh, yeah. You know what? He can mend anything that's broken. He can.
I'm sure that's part of the message that you're looking into a mirror here and there's not a crack in it.
No, that's right. That's right.
Christine, made for more. You're living the more that Jesus had for you.
That's right.
Really scary passage to come through. Could have gone another way.
Yes. Yeah.
How do you hope God will use you in the future, Christine?
My hope is that I can share my experience with those that are in similar situations and have them experience that hope and be able to fulfill the plans that they have on their life, because everybody has a plan. And that's just our prayer, is that whether it's through the songs or whether it's through the story or just any way that God can use us, we really want to be able to bring in that hope and inspiration to the youth.
First song on the CD, change the world.
Yes,
You're living to do that.
that's right.
Thank you, Christine. Where is this available?
That's available on our website, and it's www.inspiringyouthforsuccess.com.
Oh, isn't that exciting?
Yes. Yep.
Inspiring Youth
For
Success.
That's right.
And you also speak to youth.
Yes.
Where doors open.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
That's right.
What a bright and delightful example. You are an encouragement to many.
And I'm thankful to be able to do so.
Thank you for visiting with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And have a Merry Christmas.
You too.
With your family.
Thank you.
I wonder if we've touched a bit of a nerve. Could be a number of them, eh? Just family relations is always an issue at Christmas time. Whether you've chosen not to come together or whether you have to come together and it's already a stressor. God's love can mend anything that's broken if we're willing. A hard heart closes the door. But if you're open, God can do amazing things. You do that initial part and He'll do the miraculous. You hear those stories over and over again here. It's not a fairy tale. We'd love to pray with you, whatever's on your heart today. And I want to remind you that our prayer lines are always available. This Christmas could be different than you're anticipating, whatever your need today. We'll be back. Don't go away.